All right, YouTube. This Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit back on this early Tuesday morning. I did a video where I showed you excerpts of Minister Farrakhan and what he thought about Donald Trump. Today, I'm going to do a follow-up video because I want you to see that Minister Farrakhan also said that Trump was right about immigration. Trump was vetting and said we couldn't let Muslims in from other countries because they wasn't properly vetted. Whereas the liberals on the left and the Biden administration left the border open for all the Islamic countries, regardless of whether or not they had hatred for American citizens. And even Minister Farrakhan disagreed with that as a process. They also are saying that black people in Chicago are not standing with Trump. But I'm going to show you Chicago flips red and how there is a whole movement of Trump supporters in Chicago. They not only want Donald Trump to come to Chicago, they want Trump to actually arrest Mayor Brandon Johnson. Now, the Democrats on the left have always thought the black community to be their personal voting bloc, their property. So they put out the propaganda as if what Donald Trump is doing is so repulsive to black people, which is not true. There are black people in D.C. that can breathe easier and sleep easier because of what Trump has done in D.C. Almost 2 weeks, no one has lost their life, been carjacked. That has to feel refreshing, to say the least. Now, Brandon Johnson, he's making threats as if he wants to take Trump to court and sue Trump as if he has a leg to stand on, or as if the mayoral position is stronger than the presidency. At this point, we are living in times where you have to actually go to the source if you want information and find out how the people really think. So what I'm going to do for you today, I'm going to show you this clip of Minister Farrakhan explaining why he agrees with Trump on immigration. And then I'm going to show you Chicago flips red with Danny C. Then I'm going to show you Mayor Brandon Johnson's hollow threats. So without further ado, let's get off into these clips. This is for fair usage under the 1976 Copyright Act for education and commentary. Look at this.
When Mr. Trump said we can't allow these Muslims, refugees, into America. Now, a lot of people were upset with him, but I know, sir, that the hatred for America in the Muslim world is building. So in this way, Mr. Trump, I think, is wise to vet anyone coming from that area into America, because the hatred for America is in the streets now. So if those people are refugees and America feels I gotta let 10,000 of them in because America created the problem. Now, if you let them in and you don't vet them carefully, you might be letting in your own destruction. When we dialogue, we correct misperceptions. That is what makes Trump acceptable to so many white people who feel, damn, I can't be myself now. I can't say what I really feel. I'll pay a political price. So Mr. Trump says, to heck with that. I'll tell you what's on my mind. And that is freeing a lot of people that like what he is doing. Politicians who don't have money but have ideas, and they parade themselves before rich and powerful people to get money apparently for their ideas that the rich agree with. But the moment that they become what they're looking to become, they find that the rich have an agenda for them, that the rich have something to ask of them, like the John asks of the prostitute. And that's one of the things that I admire about Mr. Trump, because he told them all, I don't want your money. Am I the reason you get stoned every week now? Build up.
So what do y'all think about that? Because the misperception that our community, meaning the black community, don't see and understand why Trump is making certain decisions. And you got the hippie liberals who come out as if they know what we think and what we want. But Mr. Farrakhan told you, we understand in our communities that there's a hatred in Islamic countries for Americans. So why would y'all let so many in? Why would y'all have pro-Palestinians burning flags in this country? See, that's what the liberals did. They let so many Islamists in from third world countries that they emboldened them to actually burn a flag and raise their flag. What do you think will happen to you if you go to Arabia or one of those Muslim countries and burn their flag? What do you think will happen? Now, the second thing, Brandon Johnson and the liberals want to act as if the black Chicagoans don't want Trump in. I'm going to dispel that myth as well. I want you to check this out. Now, this is Danny C. She's one of the leaders of Chicago Flips Red, if you don't know what that is. That is black Chicagoans who are attempting to turn Chicago from a blue city to a red city. And they are so dissatisfied with the state of Chicago that they actually want Brandon Johnson arrested. Check this out.
Said you will not allow Trump to come in here and get these illegals. Yeah, you can smile. We're in a $1 billion deficit. And you spent half of our money, half of that on illegals. You campaign and double down that you would not raise property taxes.
I won't raise your property taxes.
You wanted to raise our taxes $300 million. They shut it down. Now we back here for $150 million. Okay. See, this is what we asking now. Since you want to crash out, some of y'all say y'all willing to go to jail for it. Trump, Tom Homan, make an example out this Negro right here first. Please come here first, because you know what? We're going to help you. We want a forensic.
Ma'am, I would ask that you
keep your,
hold on a second. Stop her time. Stop her time. Just a second. Stop her time. Ma'am, I would ask that you, if you want to continue speaking, you have to make sure that your language is appropriate, okay? All right.
Alex.
Okay, you can begin her time again.
You're gonna spend our tax dollars to go, Michael Rodriguez, you said to take Trump to court to protect these illegals. That's cool, because we about to make all of y'all aldermen famous. Y'all think this ass gonna ride? I think not. Flip Chicago red. We not playing.
This was gonna happen to you. You got Cash Patel and Pam Bundy that you're gonna have to deal with sooner than later. Then it's gonna be an audit. Next, it's gonna be an investigation. Then it's gonna be an indictment. Conviction. That's what's gonna happen to you.
Mr. Brandon Johnson, I'm up here. I am speaking right now, so I would love your undivided attention, please. I'll wait. So this just proves to you the lack of leadership that you show in this city. You can't even give me straight eye contact. Now, I'm going to let you know now, The people of Chicago, we're done with you. It is insane how we have been voting Democrat for over 60 plus years, and we've never seen a change from people like you, Lori Lightfoot, Robbie Manuel. It is insane. Chicago was 37% red. In 2020, it was only 15%. So we're waking up. So you can pretend that this isn't happening, but I know for a fact that you will not have that seat the next election.
You so strong about protecting those aliens, but you won't do nothing for the U.S. citizens.
I got a great way how we can what we can do with this budget. First, let's start with cutting off illegals, getting free everything. Free housing, free schooling, free food. Yeah, let's start with that. That'll save us a lot of money. What, $600 million? Let's start there. Then let's start with your salary. You are going down in history as the worst mayor in America. Let's start with cutting yours. You making too much money. Let's start there. You Democrats, and you remember you told us to defund the police? Remember, you ran on that. Remember, you was to defund the police? Let's start with that. Let's defund the police detail that you have. And let's put the police back in our neighborhood, because we're not for defunding the police. Won't you just practice what you preach? Remove all the details. We saw you coming in today. You had all the police presence. So let's take some of that away.
So, the narrative coming from the left, as it relates to Chicago and relates to D.C., and even immigration, you are seeing how black people really feel. Now let's look at Brandon Johnson. I'm going to do a reaction to this clip where Brandon Johnson, in his lunacy, thinks he's right. He thinks he's right, and he's the person to actually stand and go against Trump.
Let's say you have 50K
and the Trump
cash
administration.
And you use that to buy Bitcoin on Coinbase. Bitcoin's at 100.
Trump is getting an executive.
Now, we all know that the Democrats love to virtue signal as much as they love to lie. But I'm showing you what the people in our community thinks. And ironically, Farrakhan himself lives in Chicago. Now look at this.
Welcome to Explain America. I'm your host, Kyle Becker. Well, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson may be one of the biggest left-wing flamethrowers in the United States. And he just threatened Donald Trump with something so outrageous, you're going to have to see this. But before we get into that, please like, share, and comment Explain America. Join us. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Well, Brandon Johnson may be the worst mayor in the United States. It is really a toss-up between him and a handful of...
Well, I see everybody agrees on that he's the worst mayor.
Other blue state mayors, like, I know, Mayor Wu up in Boston, for example. We have Muriel Bowser in D.C. We have some real characters over there in the Democratic Party. But Brandon Johnson may take the cake because it just seems like he is a unapologetic, radical, Marxist, left-wing mayor who doesn't really care about the rules and will do anything possible to stop the Trump administration from accomplishing its objectives, in this case, law and order. Now, one of the things that we know just from watching Chicago politics for some time is that it is a crime-ridden city. It is very sad what has happened to Chicago. And like a lot of other blue cities, they have basically stopped reporting their crime statistics accurately. This happened under the Biden administration. It's been widely reported that these cities, they don't want people to know just how bad it is. They have Soros prosecutors in a lot of cases. They let people out on cashless bail. And again, big news today. Just wanted to say that the Trump is getting an executive order about cashless bail and is going to direct AG Bondi and the Department of Justice to go after and investigate cities that are using cashless bail and to file lawsuits if necessary to stop it. So we'll see what happens with that. But Brandon Johnson, now this is ridiculous. The Trump administration wants to help the people of Chicago to live in safety, have more security, to get their children to school safely, to stop the gangs from running the streets, getting drugs into these schools. Trump wants to put a stop to it. And Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, is not having it. And guess what he's going to do if Trump decides to send in the National Guard? Well, let's listen to him.
And so, look, we're going to remain firm. We'll take legal action. But the people of this city are accustomed to rising up against tyranny. And if that's necessary, I believe that the people of Chicago will stand firm alongside of me as I work every single day to protect the people of this city.
So there you have it.
I wanted to stop there because you see, I just showed you what the people of Chicago said about Brandon Johnson. I just showed you that the people of Chicago not only will not stand with him, they want him arrested. So with all the virtue signaling and misinformation coming from the left, you have to understand that they don't speak for black people and the black community. The Democrats speak for their rich sponsors and their lobbyists. And they speak for themselves because they got rich while our communities suffer. But they're being exposed daily. And Trump going into Chicago is one of the best things for Chicago. We want him to come to Detroit next. Yeah, we do. So that's what I wanted to show you this morning. And this is Detroit's HPTV. Signing out of Detroit. As always, keep your head on the swivel, like, share, and subscribe, and salute to all patriots. Peace.